Hello and welcome to another video. Something slightly different this time. We've had some videos of me playing modern games, a few sort of slightly older games, programming the Commodore 64, even a couple of flight sim flights, which I must get back into doing a few more of those. But this is something a little bit different. Those of you who were into DOS gaming and that back in the days of sort of 386 and 486, and you've tried to actually emulate your games using something like DOSBOX or a VMware virtual machine, and it just either doesn't work as you remember it, because like DOSBox, for example, runs everything at full speed. I know you can throttle it, but it still, to me, doesn't feel quite the same. Or it just doesn't work. You can't get it to work at all because it needs its sort of special environment. Well, I've come across a piece of software that does actually allow us to emulate our old computers, right down to the hardware, the BIOS, the peripheral or add-on cards and everything exactly how we had them. This program's called PCem, and for this video we're going to set up my first ever PC that I had after after my Amiga 500. I think my mum won it in a competition. She used to do competitions all the time, send off. But yeah, and obviously, for a lot of things, it absolutely sort of, stood head and shoulders over my Amiga 500, which had a 1 meg upgrade. This was a 486 SX25, had a, I don't know, maybe a 80 meg hard drive, and it was an IBM PS1, so they're genuine IBM, and the PS1 was their sort of cheaper, cut down, less micro architecture version of the PS2. So what we're going to do is we're going to create one of these in PCem and install its software on it, and then maybe try a couple of games on it. And then after that we'll look at maybe giving it the upgrades that I never was able to give it because I was at college and only worked a sort of weekend job. So without further ado, let's go to start downloading what we need to download for this. Right, so first thing we need to do is go to the PCem download site, and we will use the latest version. I will put all the links that I'm using today in the video description. So let's download the Windows version. I've not tried it on Linux, even though this PC here does dual boot with Ubuntu. Okay, so we're going to download that, and there's one more download we need. This is a GitHub repo. If you don't have Git running on your machine, that's fine, because you can just download it as a zip. Now this repo is all the ROMs, all the BIOS ROMs, so the motherboards and the hardware, everything. So like here we've got a compact Desk Pro 386. Here's our IBM PS2, PS1s. Okay, and there's a lot on here. Okay, so in order, if you don't have Git, then we just click download zip, click code and download zip, and down it comes. Okay, we'll go to our download folder and we will extract these. I'm using WinRAR. I've got a free trial of it at the moment, which is quite good. Oh. Whatever this is. Okay, so yeah, we've got it there. Okay, so what we need to do when we downloaded this is in this ROMs folder. Okay, we do Ctrl+A, select all the ROMs, copy them or cut them, whatever you want to do. Go back to your PCem folder and paste these into the ROMs. Okay, it looks like it's now coming with them. So it didn't on a previous download, but anyway. Okay, they're all there, and just to go in, we will look in our PS1, this is what we're going to do, which is the 2133, and yeah, there's our BIOS ROM there. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, I'm going to keep my PCem in the downloads open. Okay, what I'm going to do is run it, and we'll create the PC exactly as it was. Okay, now we have our configuration manager here. Okay, because it's a brand new install, we've got no configurations whatsoever. Okay, so I'm going to do a new configuration, and I'm going to write PS1. I won't put any special characters in, because I know it should be like that, but just in case it doesn't like the naming convention. Okay, so now this is the fun part. Okay, this is where we get to configure the machine, or as much as we can. Okay, so if we look at all these machines we've got here, we'll find the one we want. Right, we're in 486, and it's this one here, model 2133. We will look at doing a more powerful machine, which would be similar to my sort of Pentium 2 Windows 95, 98 machine in another video. So look, we're going to choose our PS1, okay. The CPU is a SX25. Okay, and the memory, well, it did not have 64. I think it had either 4 or 8 megabytes of RAM. Let's call it 8 for now. Okay. Now, the graphics was built onto the board. We don't have any options to put a graphics card in here. We'll explore the graphics card on the next video in this series. Didn't have a sound card. No, it didn't. But we'll look at dealing with that later. Hard drive. Okay, standard IDE hard drive. Okay, didn't have a second floppy drive. I had one floppy, and it did not have a CD. Okay, so let's. I can't do anything about saying about the CD there, but it didn't have a CD. That's definite. So what we need to do is we need to make ourselves a hard drive file. That's a file that our virtual hard drive will be on. So we'll do it. We'll do it in VHD. We'll do dynamic size. Or fixed size. It's not exactly going to be a very big file, is it? Let's keep it at raw. Okay, we'll call it PS1-HDD. Remember this, in the old days you had to choose your hard drive type. Well, let's give this what size do we want roughly? Should we give it the full 152 meg? Why not? Okay, doesn't matter really, but the size of the hard drive. I don't think I ever ran out of space on it. Remember to partition and format the new drive. Okay, right. So we've got our IDE there, and we've got to remember this is what type this was, and I've already forgotten it. But I can't remember if the IBM detected the hard drive. It was all pretty much set up for me. Let's have a look what type it was. 100. It was type 46. Right. Okay. So that's our IDE. Mouse, it was not a serial mouse, it was a PS2 mouse. 2-button mouse PS2. Didn't have a joystick, and no networking. Okay. Let's save that by clicking OK, and we can fire her up and see what happens. I remember this so well. How the BIOS look. Now there is a bug with this. We will always get a cache error on this every time we turn on. That is just yeah, that's a bug in PCem. Maybe they'll fix it, or maybe I'll try and fix it. I can get hold of the source code and be a contributor. But anyway, Let's run the BIOS config, just make sure. Look at that, it's detected our hard disk. Fantastic. Okay. We'll set our display type to Super VGA Enhanced. I don't know what high function is, but Super VGA Enhanced. This tells it how much graphics memory to give it. Okay, is there anything? Oh, the next page. Date and the time. Well, this will synchronize anyway with the computer. So we'll escape and save this. Okay, and now obviously we've got a blank empty hard drive and and no floppy disk. Okay, so what are we going to do about that? Well, let's first of all, I just want to on our video resolution, I just want to scale output stretch mode to 4.3, and I want it to output scale, maybe double the scale so we can see it a bit better. Okay, so that's our machine there. Right, we need some software for this. Now, luckily for me, there's a couple of websites that I use for this sort of thing. There is there's a website that has all the IBM recovery media from old PS1s, PS2s and Aptivas. And there's another site called WinWorld PC that has all the old copies of Windows and DOS and all the old applications that you know, we used to use. It has them in floppy images, ISOs, whatever you need. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to first download the IBM recovery media and see if we can just use that. Right, here's our IBM page for the 2133. Now that's the US version, we want the UK version, not the Italian. And this was the, this had IBM DOS 5, no, this is the one with MS-DOS 6. And then Windows 3.1 works, other tools, okay. So that's the files version, we want the recovery version, which is a set of disk images. So we'll download that. And once that's downloaded, we'll just extract these. Okay, and here we go. We should have 12 disks, and the recovery be the bootable one. Okay, so let's go back to our machine. Let's input a disk by doing disk change drive A. Okay, and we will go to our downloads folder, and we'll go to our IBM, and we'll click recovery, and that should be in. I don't know if this wants us to reset or not, but I'll do a Ctrl+Alt+Delete. There's our error there, cache error. Unfortunately, we're stuck with that. And here we go, booting into MS-DOS. Oh, you remember RAM drive? That harks back to the Amiga days. Okay, now we've gone to this like DOS shell here. We can go to the command prompt and just have a look and see what's on this disk. Okay, let's have a look on the disk. So we've got fdisk and format. We do. Well, let's partition this ourselves, shall we? Like the old days. Okay, I'll see if I can make this full screen. Full screen mode. Toggle full screen. There we go. So, let's run fdisk. Okay, we want to create a DOS partition and the primary. Might as well use the biggest size, even though... Oh, right, okay, it's done already. So let's reboot. Okay, we've rebooted and gone back into the command prompt. I did jump cut to it because as it's an emulator of the SX25 processor, that's the speed it runs at. Okay, it doesn't run at the speed of my i7 chip in my actual gaming PC. It's running as an SX25. Right, so we should have a C that should be unformatted. Yeah, abort. So we go to A and we'll format C. I can't remember how we did a quick format. Is it Q? Oh, unconditional format, yeah. Okay. Well, it's not actually that slow, is it? It's not a very big disk. So volume label, Jimjim PS1. And there we have a nice, fresh, shiny C drive. Okay, so let's exit the command prompt, go back into the DOS shell. And we'll install the PS1 software. Do you have the original PS1 software disk? Well, they're sort of original, aren't they? Okay. Well, let's update the PS1 software on your hard disk. Do you wish to continue? I'd love to, yes. Right. So now we've got to insert disk. So we need to come out of full screen mode. Okay. And the way we do it on this virtual machine is we go to disk, change drive A, and now we'll go from recovery and we'll go to disk 1. And we will press any key when ready. So looking at this, the whole lot is, it looks like it's PK zipped over 12 discs. Interesting. Okay, so I've got to do this with 12 discs worth. So I will jump cut to the end of the last disc. Right, we're about to do the last disc. One thing I should have mentioned earlier, also if you've clicked your mouse inside the window, your mouse is stuck and you can't go back out to change the disc because it's stuck inside the virtual machine. The virtual machine has grabbed your mouse. So the way you do it is you just hit Ctrl+End. Okay, and although it detects a key press, that's fine. It frees your mouse up. Okay, so I'm just going to put the last disc in, which is disc 12. Okay, and I will click the any key. Okay, so what it wants us to do is remove the disc and press the any key. Right, I have to do Ctrl+End. Okay, disc, eject drive A, see? Okay, and then I'll click back in here and press the any key. So let's go full screen. There's our cache out. Just hit escape. Now it's booting from the hard drive. This is the antivirus that we had on there that it came with. DOS key. I can't even remember what DOS key does. Yeah, this PS1 logo. I remember that very fondly. I have no idea what it's doing now. Oh, there we go. It's booting up Windows 3.1. Oh, this looks familiar. So we've got the IBM PS1 backdrop there, you can just about see. And we have this learning thing, I remember. We can have a quick look at that if you want, but this is all about the gaming PC. So we'll click this one, Windows lessons, software, descriptions. Right, let's exit back to the program manager there. And this is what I remember. So this is what it came with, Microsoft Works. So that's a very cut down version of Microsoft Office, sort of, and it wasn't really compatible with Excel and Word, but you were able to. It did have a basic word processor, spreadsheet, database, wizards, etc. So let's come out of that. Right, let's set up how we want Windows to look, and what we do is we go to PS1 Fitness and Display Select. This is where we set our resolution. So what I would do is I'll keep it at 256 colours and we'll set it to 1024 by 768. So we've always had to restart Windows whenever we do anything. That looks better. Right, we were Program Manager there, and we want to always start with the Program Manager so we don't get this tutorial anymore. Right, and here is our Windows. Okay, we'll maybe if we get time we'll look at putting some of the Windows software on that I had. But what I do want to do is look at the DOS gaming side of this. Now, one of the games two or three of them I enjoyed on this PC was obviously Doom. Even though it had only a PC speaker, Doom, I played a lot of that on here. In fact, I even completed it, I believe, back in the day, and we're talking about 1993, 94. I think, roughly. I had a golf game, I think it was called Lynx 386. That was a golf game. I remember the graphics for the time were really, really good. And Day of the Tentacle was another one. So let's look how we can get some games on here. Let's come out of full screen mode. I think we need to change how this looks. I'll put scale 1. Okay. Okay, right, so we need to go back on the internet and download Doom. And if we can, Day of the Tentacle, and even Lynx Golf if we can. Okay, so I found Doom. A lot of these are on the archive.org. We want the floppy image, or images, so let's just click Show All. Once again, all these links will be in the description. Okay, yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 discs worth. Just so we can get a zip of that. We don't want an ISO, right, 12 files. Let's just download the whole lot and just take what we want. Okay, so there's Doom. Here's our golf game, Lynx 386. So let's just give that a download. And here's Day of the Tentacle, floppy images. Right, so let's just download all these files here. Right, there we have our files in our downloads folder. Let's just extract them. So let's come out of that. So we'll extract Doom first. Then Lynx. Oh, I think I downloaded that twice. Lynx, extract, and Day of the Tentacle, extract. I think I looked at Day of the Tentacle, it was in another file, so let's extract that into 7-zip, and there we have, there's our disk images for Day of the Tentacle. And you've got to remember, this is, because I didn't have a CD-ROM on this, they were quite a new thing on PCs, not all of them had them then. This is the only way I could install games, one floppy at a time. Okay, so back to our PC. Let's go into DOS mode. So we exit Windows by double clicking this. And then with the PS1 we had a nice menu, so I'll go to DOS prompt, not DOS shell. Okay. And it's going to be a case of swapping the floppies around. So let's just get my mouse up here. Let's get the view, the video to output in double scale for this. And the first thing we'll do is we'll do Doom. So downloads Doom 1.21, and we'll put the first disk in. Okay, we'll go to our A prompt. And I believe this came with an install batch file. There we go. So install. Which drive do you want to install to? C. And into the Doom folder. Creator, yes, please do. Okay, so I believe we're going to have to do some disk swapping. So I will get to the end of this disk, and then what we'll do is I'll jump cut to the last disk. Yeah, it was slow. And yeah, unlike DOSBox and things, you can actually speed up the floppy, or virtual machines. You can speed up the floppy. DOSBox you don't. You just have all the files waiting in a folder. But this is how we installed it back in the day. Right, so disk 2's in. I will jump cut to coming up to the end of disk 4. Okay, we're just at the end of disk 4 now. Insert disk 1 again. Oh, and it's running it for us. So let's flick over to full screen. Oh, yes, this is the extraction. Yes, I remember. This main doom.wad file will just take forever when installing it, but we'll let it carry on. LHA. Now that's the Amiga archiving utility, LHA. That's interesting. Or is it just a coincidence? I think we're done. Right, so we want keyboard and mouse. We've got no sound card in our IBM PS1. PC speaker. Controller config. Keyboard. Right, let's change this to my normal keys. W, S. I don't really want to turn right there. Right, strafe left, A and D. Speed on. I don't know, we'll do it without speed for now. Okay, so let's accept that. F10. We'll accept that. Right, we haven't got a modem or network. So let's save these settings. Now I think it's actually loading Doom up. And prepare for the glorious sound of a PS1 PC speaker. Oh, can you hear it? That's what I have. Just these blips and farts and blobs and whatever. That's about as good as it got. Right, okay. So let's just start a game and see what it's like to play. So we'll do a new game. Hurt me plenty. I'll only do one level. Okay, there's no music, but yeah, see how the frame rate, okay, it's not like 60 frames per second smooth, especially like the modern remake of Doom that's built for RTX cards, but this is exactly how it was. Let's get our little things there. Let's blow up an oil can for shits and giggles. Is that one there? Whee! There's one there. I can never remember how to get out there and get that armour, but I'm sure there's a way. Well, there's no jumping Doom. Right, let's go through here. Oh, I space for the doors, yes. Oh, there we go. lots of bits of armour here. Oh, those colours, they were glaring, weren't they? God. Right, anything else around here? Oh, someone's shooting at me. That's this guy here. Right. Oh, this is where we've got that demon up the top there. I don't know if I'm hitting him or not. Ah, yes. And him. He didn't get to chuck a fireball at me. There's a way to get a shotgun around here, but I can't remember it because it's been so long. Right, he didn't get a chance to... Oh! I've run out of bullets, I think. Oh, bugger it. Yeah, I've run out of bullets. There we go. I'm sure there was another entrance around here. No. Ready kit. Some things down here. Okay, well, won't waste any more time, but yeah, this is an authentic version of Doom. The only way I could make this more authentic is to actually plug in a VGA 14-inch CRT monitor, or 15-inch, whatever it was. And that one, you know, this would output to that, and that would be, you know, about as authentic as it gets, really, without actually having the original PC itself. Oh, I killed 100% of people, but hardly any of the items in the zero sequence. Didn't you do well? Okay, right. Let's get another game installed. Let's get the links installed. Oh, yes, there we go, yes. Registered version of Doom. I know it's a copied version, but God, the amount of originals I bought from id Software back in the day, all the Quakes. Okay, let's take ourselves out of full screen mode and take ourselves back to the C prompts. And then let's get our mouse back. Let's put in our links disk. Oh, it seems this version is not the floppy image version. Right, okay, well let's find the one we want and delete this. Right, good old archive.org. Okay, so we've got one there and it contains like 4 disk images here. So we'll just click through it. It says 9 files, download that. And in our downloads folder, we will delete that one. And we'll extract, and we'll delete this one as well. Tidy up, and we'll extract this one. Okay, that's better. These look like floppy images to me. Let's pop disk 1 in. We'll switch over to A. See what we got. Is it a install? Oh, resolution's up a bit. So let's recapture our mouse and let's scale this down a bit. Output scale to 1.5 times. Okay. Right, so enter this continue. So let's install it onto the C drive. CD links 386. Continue. Okay. Now comes the time to do some disk swapping. So I will jump cut to the end. Okay, we're just coming up to completion, getting some interesting trivia up the top, and before a reminder to send in my warranty card. Right, let's exit to DOS. let's get our mouse back. We can Ctrl+End and eject drive A, and then full screen. So let's have a look. Now I seem to remember you just ran golf.bat, so let's just check star.bat. So it could be golf or links 386. Let's just run golf. And here we go. Look, these are nice sort of either VGA or Super VGA graphics. Excellent. Right, so we'll just do a quick go on this. So we'll create our player. Okay, so mail, name's Jimjim. Okay. Animation is male. Okay. We'll just use the level beginner, I think, because I've not played this since back in the original, nearly 30 years. Right, let's just save that. Okay, so there I am, and then we can leave, and we'll do a game. I don't know if you can practice any bits of the course. Just do one hole, maybe, practice. So select me. Okay, click OK. Oh, we'll do hole 1. Yeah, we'll practice hole 1. We'll do Harbour Town. Okay, I've got no additional courses. I'm sure they're there somewhere online. Right, normal green, soft green, yeah, windy, just breezy, allow mulligans. Yeah, I'll be needing them. Now, I didn't see any options to configure the sound on here. So whether it would default to PC speaker or not, I have no idea. Right, I don't remember what. Right, this is a par 4 hole, this one. Right, still drawing everything. Yeah, this was considered like photorealistic back in the day. You've got to remember, I mean, I'm watching it on a 55-inch screen. But you'd have this on a 14-inch monitor. So look, the golfers looks like a proper scan. So, okay, so what we do, this is the direction we want to go. That's 326 hours. So I think we click this. When it gets to the green, we click again. And then when it comes back, we click again as near to the green as possible. Oh, that was awful. So you don't do that, do you? So I'm gonna mulligan that one. You hold it down and release it at the top, and then click it again at the bottom. Right. Oh, slight bit of slice on that. See, but it's on the fairway. Okay, we've actually got no sound, so I need to do something about that. So I'm going to click continue. Then I'm going to go to the menu and see if I can. Is it in the setup? No. That's how you set up your golfer. Let's go to the menu. Options. Sound options. We don't have a no card, right. Right, I didn't hear a bloody thing. Real sound, no card. Okay, sound effects are on, and I had nothing when I did the sound test, so... Okay, well, maybe this did not support the PC speaker. I think the previous version of Lynx did. Right. We don't want to exit to DOS. How do I resume? Resume play. There, that's how we do it. Oh, nice buildings. They have rendered them very nicely. Okay, so I'm going to get over here, I think. 194 yards, so I don't want a full drive. maybe I should use a smaller club. Maybe the 3 wood, and not go all the way to the top. Oh, not too bad, but it's straight, but it ain't hard enough. How far are we from the green? Oh, not too far. I always struggle to work out what clubs are best. That's lack of experience though. So 91 yards, 88 yards away. So what club would I use for that? 99? Oh, that's a bit of hook there, but it doesn't look too bad. I think I'm on the fringe. I think I'm getting a par though somehow. Well, I'm putting, look, and it's set the grid up for our green. It looks pretty flat. I think there's slight slope down that way, so if we aim it to just about here. Okay, so we're on our putter. I've got to hit it quite hard, maybe up to about here. Ooh. Ooh! Now I'm going to mulligan that. Not so hard. No, it's not. It's not good enough. Okay, well, I'm not going to get a par. I'm going for a bogey here. Just tap it in, yeah? Oh, hell, I'm mulliganing that. This is how I've got to know how hard to do it. Just mulligans until we, you know, I wouldn't do that if I was playing a proper game, but on the practice course. Hey, and we're in. Your ball has gone in the hole. Right. Excellent. So now we're back on the practice menu, so we can cancel out of this. We'll practice another hole, but we're going to cancel out of this. Okay, we're going to cancel out of this. And we're going to go to game, exit to DOS. Okay, so let's go back to the root folder. The last thing we're going to do is install date of the tentacle. So come out of here. Let's change our drive to back to the downloads, date of the tentacle, and it's in a couple of subfolders. Put disk 1 in. Go to the A prompt. Hopefully there's a nice installer, install.exe. Oh God, it's in bloody Spanish. Okay, so I've finally downloaded and extracted the English version. I really should check what I'm doing more. So let's insert it, and I will give you the link to the English one in the description. Okay, so day of the tentacle, disk 1. Install. C dot. Okay, so once again, I'll jump cut until I've done all the discs. Okay, right, well, we're just at the end of the last disc, and it's just decompressing the digitized sounds. Although, what's the point? Because we only got a speaker. Right, so what we'll do, let's see how well this works. So we'll eject the disc, switch to full screen. Okay, and we just run, I think, dot. Welcome to Day of the Tentacles, a setup utility. Right, bring our sound hardware. Right, well that's not going to be difficult. So, music, internal speaker. Oh, not very good here, is it? Okay, well, let's escape from the setup. Day of the Tentacle. Hey, look at that. And it's as silent as anything. I can't remember. Did we actually have any PC speaker sounds for this? I really can't remember. I might go in that setup and have a look. But there we go. We've got the intro. Right, okay, so there we go. We can walk around. There we go. I remember we need a crowbar for that. Right, let's go and see if I can sort this sound out. Now, we can use the F keys to get the menu, so let's quit that. This was the setup. It's flashing, but I think I've done it using the cursor keys. Doesn't look particularly good, but I've got internal speaker for the music, no sound count and no voice. Right, let's exit the setup. Save settings, yes. So let's run Day of the Tentacle. Still very quiet, isn't it? Okay, well, I must have just played it with no sound and on my DOS machine. Look at that. The silly, goofy animation. I know there was a way on this. You could play Maniac Mansion as a game in a game. I think you jumped on the computers. I don't know if there's a help. There's no help on here to get the sound going. Oh, there's Dr. Fred. Well, this is how I played it. Must have been how I played it. Okay, so one thing that I remember having to do is mess around with the memory settings. I remember some games did complain. Obviously this isn't complaining. let's quit the game, hit F1 and we'll quit. So what I actually did was go back out to here to edit the config.sys. Some games there, not enough high memory. Right, device was high-mem.sys, and for some games I had to take the no EMS out, and everything else is device high. So this actually seems alright, because nothing's complained. And then we edit the auto-exec.bat, and then we'd actually have load high. Oh, this has got this already. So everything it's doing is running LH, okay, apart from DOS mode and Cube UK, and the PS1 start. Okay, so this is looking pretty much exactly like I had it. Okay, well, I'll tell you what now is the time to do. Now is the time to give this PC the upgrade that I never had. So what I'm going to do is turn the system off. Okay, I'm back in this configuration editor. Now I'm going to edit it. Okay, we'll keep the processor as it is for now. Okay, display is fine, but let's put in a Sound Blaster 16. Okay, I didn't have any whatever an LPT devices. And let's put in a CD-ROM. Well, we've got a full speed one there. So we could use the PCem one. I think they both work. Obviously, we need the software for that. Okay, so first of all, let's see if we can get some sound. Okay, so I've finally found one here on winworldpc.com. Okay, I'll put the link to this in the description. I've already downloaded and extracted it, but you can just click on any one of these servers to do that. So we go into our machine and put in drive A. We will do to Sound Blaster 16 and disk 1. Okay, we'll go to the A prompt. Have a quick look. It all looks pretty much the same as that German one. This has got ASP drivers. I don't know what that means, but well, let's see what happens when we run install. Okay, install into a folder called SB16. Okay, begin installation. Hit the key. Okay, there's 3 disks, so I will jump cut to the end of the last disk. Right, it was only 2 disks. So now the program is going to set up our system files, which is our config sys and auto-exec, to configure the Sound Blaster. So let's hit a key there. It's 220 for the sound generator and 330 for the MIDI wave synthesizer. So that's the way PCem sets it. So let's say yes for that. And on the C drive is the boot up drive for our system. So it's going to add these to our config sys, or no, our auto-exec.bat, and then following to the config sys. And Windows is here. Also where the WinINI file is, so we'll do that, and it will adjust something in Windows for us. And the program Win setup will be run the next time you start up Windows. Set up Windows 3.1 drivers and applications. Okay, so let's exit. Please remember to reboot your system. Okay, so let's get our mouse back. We will eject drive A and do a Ctrl+Alt+Delete and full screen here. That's our annoying cache error. which I can't seem to escape out of. Oh, let's do a hard reset. Okay, now we can go full screen. We're going to get the error, but we can escape out there. Just needed a hard reset. Now, oh, there's our Sound Blaster driver being loaded. Here's Windows, that's going to run this Win Setup program. So we'll click OK here. Oh, there's all these nice new programs there. Jukebox, Mixer. Let's restart Windows. Well, hey, did you hear that? That ta-da! Now let's just close this a second. And we'll go to the main, and I think we can go into the control panel, and we can choose sound here if we want to. There we go, look. Excellent. Right, should we try again? We know it works okay in Windows. Let's just cancel out of that. Right, let's go through that horrible Day of the Tentacles setup routine. Right, work out where we are. Sound Blaster. 220, detect, there's RQ7, it's normally 5, let's detect it, 5, I think we've done it. Sound Blaster for music, Sound Blaster for voice, right, okay, so let's escape the setup and we'll save the settings. So let's escape that. We would have run while running Tentacle. Oh, that's it. We should get the nice bit from William Tell Overture now. Ah, there's the little froggy. Don't know if we'll get the voices. Wow, we do. I'm sure the CD-ROM had a lot more, the CD-ROM version had a lot more digital speech on it. Right, brilliant. So we can play Day of the Tentacle now with our little upgraded IBM PS1. Let's just see if we can get Doom going with a bit of sound. Oh, that's my Linux. Yes, I use Linux on a day-to-day basis. So select music card, Sound Blaster, 220. Sound effects card, Sound Blaster, 225, 1. I don't know how many digital channels there are. 4. And right. Save settings and run Doom. Let's see if that works. Oh yes, I can hear things. Let's see if we get that great music for the start of the level. Turn my sound up a bit. That's it. Great theme, iconic theme. Oh, love it. Right, I'll have a proper game of that later. We can get that up to full screen, that's how I used to have it. Yeah, it still runs alright, doesn't it? You're dead. Right, last one is the golf game. Oh, can't tab. Is there a setup program on here? Or is it done in game? Okay, okay, so no, we'll just have to run golf. Right, let's go to the options, sound options, sound blaster. Sound Blaster Pro 225.1. Okay, do a sound test. Oh, there we go. I'm getting a nice round of applause there. Does V2 work? No. The Sound Blaster. So yeah, Sound Blaster Pro. So let's just do a practice tee off. I won't actually do the whole lot I did earlier. Practice. There's me. Okay. Let's try hole number 2. Right, there's our Nick Faldo type character. What's this, a par 5? Christ. Well, there we've got the birds tweeting. Oh, bit of slice on it. How far did that go? 172 yards, not the best, was it? But at least we heard him give it a whack. Oh, this is addictive, this game. I love it. Oh, Christ. That's is that on the fairway or is it in the rough? I'll quit in a sec. Oh my God. Inadvertently slicing it got me right up near the pin. Anyhow, so let's quit out of this. And we're going to do one more bit of configuration for this, which a lot of us had to do back in the day. So game, exit to DOS. Okay, before we do our last thing, I did forget something. Obviously, we've installed a CD-ROM, and yeah, we haven't been able to use it yet. So let's go back to the internet. Now I find the most compatible CD-ROM drivers are on the Windows boot disk for Windows 95 OSR2. So the link for this will be in the description. So let's crack on and download this floppy image. I think it's a Dell one. Okay, we'll extract that. to there, and we will, in our machine, we will attach it to our machine. Now we might as well use Windows to do the editing for this. So let's go. So there's two things we want to do, yeah? So we want to copy the files. This will remember how to do this, okay? Here's all our files on here. So we go here to the C drive. We want a folder in C, and we want to make a new folder. How do I do that? File, create directory, CD-ROM. Okay, so from here we will need the NEC IDE.sys. How do I copy the file? File copy, and to CD-ROM, and we want MSCDEX as well. So one's the driver for the CD, and the other one is the program that makes it work, basically. So if we look in CD-ROM here, there's our two files, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to come out of File Manager. We're going to go into our IBM PS1 Fitness. I mean, this isn't part of the default Windows 3.1 install, but I find it's a nice, easy utility for getting your autoexec.bat up and your config sys. So the first thing we want in the config sys, okay, after our Sound Blaster, we want to call, let's change that to high, and then device high equals, now there's some syntax we need here that I don't know off by heart. CD-ROM, so let's use our program manager, and we'll go to the accessories and Notepad. They'll open on the floppy drive. Change that to all files. We'll open the config.sys on here and just copy what we want. So that's this. Edit copy. Now let's try and go back to our edit paste. Okay, so that's loading it. It's doing a /D is the letter, and it's the device, a logical name is called MSCD001. Okay, so now the last thing, we'll just save that. And then we need to go to the autoexec.bat, which I believe is here, and run the MSCDEX command. Okay, let's get rid of that. That was from a failed attempt that I haven't videoed. Where should we put it? Let's put it here. We should really LH these, I think. Keep our base memory down. So LH C CD-ROM, and then where's our notepad? We'll just do file open again, autoexec.bat, and that is our command there. Back to yeah. Paste and MSCD001. So let's save that. Okay, let's close all this. Okay, and then close Windows. Take her out of full screen and do Ctrl+Alt+Delete. Did we? Oh, we didn't eject our disk. Let's just see if it works here anyway. It does. It's found our CD-ROM drive on this Windows 98 disk. And lo and behold, in there is an ISO I've already loaded in there just to see if it works. However, we'll leave that in there for now, and I'll eject drive A, and let's see if we get the CD working in Windows. There's our sound drivers. Oh, I didn't get a chance to see it, but I'm assuming it's all there. We know it works. Well, there's only one way to find out. Oh, boom, boom. There we have a drive D. Look at that. CD-ROM support. So we can download ISOs now and mount those if we need to. It might be handy. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to do was set up a menu on the system so that when we turn it on, we want to go straight into a game. We get a menu to choose between Windows and DOS. So there's a way to do that, and I'm going to have to cheat a little bit because I can't remember it offhand. There's a web page here, and it tells us how we can set up a menu. Okay, so we can have common items that will run in both. Okay, so we have common like this here. And then for DOS, we have our device drivers there, and for Wins, we've got some different ones there. Okay, so we won't have the EMM386 for Windows, for example, and then we do the same in the autoexec.bat. Okay, so using this, let's do our config sys first. So what we'll do is we'll come out of here. And we'll go into, let's do it in, it's pretty easy to do it in Notepad, wasn't it, actually? What we did before. So open. Okay, so all files, go to C, and we'll go up there, and config.sys. Okay, so first thing we do here is a menu. What I'll do, let's just roll this to one side so we can copy from here. We have our menu, and we do our menu items. So menu item equals DOS, and with the DOS for games is CD-ROM, and we have a menu item equals, this is Win is the name of it, but the user doesn't see that, and put Windows 8.1, and Okay. So let's do, I don't know if we can set a default one. Okay, so let's get a section here for our common things. Okay, so I think we will have this one. Let's just put that line there. We'll have this one. Well, everything that the IBM PS1 put in would be in the pretty much in the Windows. So, so that is there. And we will have, yeah, I think that'll do. Okay, so now we have our Win. This will be the easiest one because it's pretty much all of this lot. We don't need this. Okay, so that does everything. It's got the display.sys, the Sound Blaster drivers that we need. Okay. And the CD-ROM driver, just in case. So I would change this just to device equals hymem.sys, and this to just no EMS. Actually, no, we'll leave that as it is because it's Windows, isn't it? And that's how the IBM set this up. I'll have a DOS one here. Okay, and we'll have this a lot more limited. So we will have these two. Obviously, we need these. I don't know if we're going to need all this set ver. So we'll copy that, paste that there. Okay. I don't know if we need all this ANSI.sys, display.sys. No, I'm just going to put the CD-ROM drivers there. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. And we'll change this to EMS. So we could have one with DOS and DOS EMS depending on the game. Some games use extended memory and some don't. I don't think we're going to need any of these now. Okay, so there's our two config sys. So we'll save that, and then we'll open. Do you want to save it? Yes. Then we'll open autoexec.bat. Now this is the interesting one. Let's have a look on our web page. Okay, so you've got to do go to config. So this is obviously the common stuff here. Okay, then go to config, okay, which is the top. Okay, so what do we want to be common? Okay, we want the Sound Blaster is common. Okay, we want set temp equals CDOS and the path. Okay, so this is where we want go to captures and go to send config send, it's a variable, then this will be win. We want all this thing we had with the PS1 menu, etc. And the PS1 start. Maybe we want LH this. Okay, so we don't need these two because we've got them in our section for everything, and this pretty much is everything. And then okay, then we've got to tell it to go to the exit, otherwise it will process the next stuff. So what we'll do, this is our DOS. Oh my god, we're in the autoexec.back, not bat. No, I don't. This is not our modify one. This is the one we want. Oh, what a moron. Okay. This is our common. Echo off. This is our common. Okay. We'll remove that. Okay. Then we've got win. Okay. Let's remove this line here. Loads our DOS smart. Okay, don't know why that's remmed out. Smart drive, set temp to C DOS. We don't need to load the DOS mouse drive or actually, yeah, I think, yeah, that was already in there, so we'll leave that as it is, yeah. Okay. Then we've got to go to an exit. It's not there, but we'll put it there. So now is our DOS, and we basically are doing nothing because we're loading these all up anyway. So let's just pop this part. Well, there's the path. And we'll load the mouse driver. I don't know what DOS key is. Oh, I can't spell so. Okay, now we need the exit, which all this means is when win is done, if it will go to there. If this wasn't there, it would carry on running all this stuff here. Right, should we give this a go? Right, let's do a quick Ctrl+Alt+Delete. Oh, ha, 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 look at that. There's our menu. So let's do DOS. CD-ROM drive. Sound Blaster. Enjoy your gaming. Make sure this kicks in with a bit of noise. Yes. Okay, so we know that works. Let's reboot and just make sure Windows is all good. Yeah, it's loading all the other IBM PS1 garbage or bloatware. So yeah, we can go switch it on, pretty much go straight into DOS if we want to, or go into Windows. Excellent, we got everything here. Okay, before I wrap this video up, I'll just show you the previous version of the my PS1 that I've set up beforehand, that I've been using quite a bit. Hardware is pretty much exactly the same as what we've just configured, except I gave it a little processor upgrade of a DX processor. Okay, I've got this here. We've got the startup menu the same. Okay, and yeah, Windows stuff is pretty much the same. There's a Sound Blaster CD-ROM drive, just a slightly better processor. Okay, but what I've done on here, I've got a few more games installed than what we've seen that I had. And I've got quite a few applications that I had back in the day. Use it for college, etc. Okay, so you can see the PS1 stuff's all the same. This is my apps folder here. So you see I've got Microsoft Word version 2, which I got hold of. I can't remember where. Okay, so there's proper MS Word. This is what I used my college A level, was Quick Basic. It's DOS-based basic game, but it's yeah, this is the full version. Let's go out of these directories. Let's see. Oh, I never go around this. So, directory and DOS. I think there's a. These are the games everybody knows. Gorillas. So, obviously, I did my I wrote a payroll system in this, I believe. Okay. And if we run it, this is the Gorillas game. Oh, we'll just view the intro. Oh. I don't know how to quit this. Oh, I've really gone and buggered it there. How do I quit it? Yeah, I can't. Ah, dear God, I've completely crashed it. Okay, this is what I used before I got my first programming job. This is a database along the lines of Access, but it's a bit more powerful. Okay, so used to write help write the company's system to do all their contracts and leads and factory stuff. So we did it all in a database here. So I used Paradox. So obviously I installed it on here so I could do work from home. Coral Draw used to make fake IDs for my college people. So I had a little hand scanner. I could scan in a photo there and I'd make a realistic looking ID. And I'd even managed to get it put into some lanyards so it looked pretty authentic. So I use CorelDRAW. This is quite fun. You could do all sorts of fun stuff with this. Okay, so we'll fill it with a gradient fill there, and yeah, we'll make it radial. Obviously, I've only got it in 256 colour mode at the moment. Okay, but you had loads of fonts and put text everywhere and draw shapes. Photo Paint was the photo editing, so with their fake IDs, we just touched them up, the photos of them up a bit before I imported them into there. This was what we had. My mum could do her work from home, so they gave her this to install on the computer so she could do some work at home. And this was just a desktop publisher. And this, I think this was the version. God, it's taking a while to load. Maybe it's got QBasic running in the background. Yeah, you could import documents from Word into this and pictures and wrap it all round. There we go. The thing is, this didn't understand the concept of A4, so I had to keep changing it. Okay, right. Oh, I can't get rid of QBasic. Let's look at the games we've got here. Oh no, that's the Windows games. There were the apps I had, and let's go to File Manager. Okay, so Mario Andretti Racing. I remember getting that for about £5 from the computer shop. Wasn't particularly good. There's the two golf games, Lynx and Lynx 386, Monkey Island 2. I had this on my newer PC, but I thought I'd add it to this thing. I'm not going to emulate my Packard Bell multimedia because that was only 486/75. Okay, what else do we have? This is a test one. Skies of something or other. I was using that as a test. And that's pretty much it. And Day of the Tentacle, the CD version. So that pretty much brings this to an end. Okay, so this is really how to play any old DOS games or use any old Windows applications, exactly how you used them back in the day without the sort of modern speed of emulation that you get. So this actually will emulate the hardware right down to the BIOS. And it's, yeah, you can run it full screen. Looks amazing, and it feels just like it did back in the day. So it brings this good old nostalgia trip. Okay, so yeah, we'll end the video on that, and next time I will set up a Pentium 2 with Windows 95 98 on it, and exactly how I had it back in the day, and we'll put some of the games of the time on, like maybe Quake or Quake 2, Age of Empires, that sort of thing. Okay, right, until the next one, goodbye.